Yes, guys. My name is Javeno Mclean, owner of the J7 Gym of the Year, 2 times Gym of the Year, and I beat the often path by creating a system, a facility for exercise that encourages the whole family to exercise, a system of exercise and a way of delivering that gets disabled people and elderly people involved, and a system that makes everybody fall in love with exercise. Simple.
Welcome back to the Beat the Often Path podcast. I'm your host, Ross Palmer. Now, buckle up, folks, because we've got a very inspiring episode for you today. Javeno Mclean is a former professional cricket player who changed everything about his life to become a professional trainer and gym owner. His life story is so insane, and it's proof that our dream can come true and still leave us with a feeling of emptiness, and that helping others might just be the thing that we've been missing all along. It's such a cool story, so get ready to rethink everything with the energetic and charismatic Javino Mclean, 2021 National Fitness Award winner and 2X winner of Gym of the Year. Here's Javeno Mclean. Well, welcome to the show, Javino. So glad to have you here. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think it's a very low energy that you bring to this interview. Is there any way that we can ramp up the energy just a little bit?
Let me get a table and fill some.
I can tell already. It's going to be boring. Yeah. It's going to be mundane. It's going to be, it's just all of those things.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. We got to ramp it up for the listeners. No, it's a pleasure to have you here. You have such a cool story, such a fascinating arc. I loved watching what you have done, and especially your mission and what you prioritize in the work that you do. Yeah. But can you give the listeners a little introduction to what is your arc? What's your story? How did you end up where you are?
Right. Well, Jesus Christ. How long have you got, Ross? I'll try and make
We've got 1 hour. We're going to go for it.
Long story short, guys, I'm 37. What I do now is my true love. It's not my first love, and I need to make that very clear. It's my true love. It's the gift that I've been blessed with. I was born in Jamaica, in the beautiful island of Jamaica. It was warm, it was nice, it was coconuts and pineapples. And I don't know why my mum brought me to England, but she did. And but in Jamaica we play cricket. So cricket, I'm not sure in America you know cricket too much. That was my first love, and that's all I ever wanted to be, was a professional cricket player. And growing up, I was obsessed with cricket. I still am. And I became a professional cricket player. Professional sport can sometimes be a bit, it's not always what it seems. And I fell in love with cricket, and I played professional cricket, and it got to the point, Ross, without being big-headed, I fell out of love with cricket because I was always the best athlete, Ross. I was always, and I know that sounds really big-headed, but I didn't really get much from it. Every team that I played for, if Javino was going to win it, the sprints, I was going to win it, the strength test, I didn't get much from it in the end. And it got to the point where I went to India. I lived in India for 6 months because I got a contract to play for a team in India, an amazing team. And I got the opportunity to be the trainer for the squad, because the trainer that we had, he had a knee injury and had to go back to South Africa. In the 2 months that I trained the other boys, man, I got more satisfaction out of what I could do with other people rather than myself. So a few years after that, I kind of fell away from cricket and retired, because I felt like I got so much more satisfaction out of getting other people in shape, if that makes sense.
It does.
So I've been training people for 22 years, Ross. I've been training people since I was 16. And I'm only 37, so I've been training people for a long time. And a long story short, I started doing classes for Manchester Council. It's called, just our local thing. And I had so many disagreements with people. I said, don't put my name on a poster or flyer. You can't sell passion through a flyer. You have to feel passion. Passion is something that if it's pure and it's real, it has to be felt. It can't be read. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it wasn't a good time for me, to be honest, because they didn't understand me, because I was a bit weird, and the way I delivered exercise was crazy. It wasn't seen before. And I remember one man especially, I'm not going to say his name, but I don't like him because he said to me, "Who do you think you are, Javino?" Everyone, like, we're gonna do flyers and posters all around Manchester, which is where I'm from, to get people to come to the abs classes and all the exercise classes. I said, "Don't you dare put my name on the poster. Don't put my name on the poster. You can't sell me on a poster." Long story short, Ross, I started a class in Manchester, and it was me and one amazing, tremendous old lady called Brenda, who is still my queen to this day. She's the only member of my gym who's got a lifetime membership.
Yeah.
And for 4 months, it was me and Brenda, just nobody else. But Ross, I trained that little lady like it was the last person I'll ever train in my life. And then she loved it that much, and she felt what I was doing that much. She told one person. So one person became 4, 4 became 6, 6 became 10. We had to go to a different venue. 10 became 12, 15, 20, 30. We got too big. We had to go to another venue. We went to a local, like a girls' school, high school. It went from 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 people. This is every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We again got too big. We had to go to another big high school where it went from 90, Ross, every Tuesday by myself, just little old me by myself, to 140 people. And it was the busiest class in the whole of the United Kingdom. It was the busiest class in the whole of the United Kingdom. And that came from this one little lady sticking and believing in what I did. Me sticking with my guns and making sure that, no, I don't want my name on the flyer. I believe that if I do it the way that Javino knows, you ain't got no choice but to feel it and fall in love with what I'm going to do. And because I stuck by it, and Brenda stuck by it, and it just went crazy. I ended up having the busiest class in the whole of the UK. To this day, it's still a record unofficially, and because there's no, people have counted it on stats, but there's no. So it's official, but it's unofficial. To this day, no one's ever come to me and had said that they've had more people at a class. But the mad story is, Ross, even I worked for the people that I was working for over 10 years. 13 years ago, in my mum's kitchen, I've written on a piece of paper, blank piece of paper in my mum's kitchen, my vision, and I called it J7. It was a facility, Ross, where it's about energy, man. If I'm in a room, I want Ross to feel me. I want Ross to hear me.
I feel it.
You know what I mean? I want you to feel my vibrations.
Yes.
If you're upstairs and I'm downstairs, we can't vibe. We can't connect. So the dream for me was to have a facility, not like these big commercial gyms where you've got treadmills and the cardio downstairs and the weights upstairs, and where you got different rooms. I wanted a place that was one floor where everybody could be together. Wow. We could all be doing different things, but I could look up and say, "Russ,
let's go."
You can look up and say, "Yeah," and then and the love is kind of contagious, and the energy can flow. I've written it on a piece of paper and I called it J7.
All right, I want to get into the gym as it is today, but I want to kind of go back to the beginning because there's so many amazing things that you just said there. The first, and I think a lot of people will feel this, is that you had one dream that turned into another dream. I want to be a professional athlete, and then one day something changes, and you say, no, that's not doing it for me anymore. That's not what I want. And then you get more out of helping other people. Now, do you remember that transition? Was it something that happened overnight, or was it something you just woke up and you said, that's it?
It happened over a few years, Ross.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the US, it will be very similar. I know a lot of athletes in the US, but the level of dedication required is outrageous from a very young age.
Right.
And I got to the point, Ross, where I think I was 22, and I've never been. In England, we have these things called boys' holidays. You call them vacations, but we have these things where boys' holidays every summer, a group of your friends will go maybe to Spain, to Greece, and just party and go out and have fun and live as young people. I know in America, a lot of people go spring break and go to Cancun and Hawaii and things.
A road
I
trip to
never had
Vegas.
that, Ross.
Yeah.
I never had that from 13 years old. I've lived the life of a professional athlete, and I started saying, man, I want to live. I want to go. I want to do some beer pong. I want to go. I want to take some shots. I wanted to live, and so I was thinking about it anyway. But it did really get to the point, and I hate saying it because I do not want to sound big-headed, but being the best athlete on every team that I was in, it got so boring and it did not satisfy me. I needed more. And accidentally, when I was in India, that was the turning point. When I was in India and I got to train these boys, and these men that I trained, were elite athletes. They were more experienced than me. Some of them were giants in cricket. Some of these people, Ross, I'm not going to name them because you probably won't know them. They are mega stars. They are mega stars in cricket. But guess what? I wasn't scared to say, yo, you owe me 20 burpees. You owe me 20 press-ups. And people were looking at me as if to say, how dare you speak to so-and-so because he's this level of superstar. I said, I don't give I'm not going to swear. I said, I don't give a damn. I said, if I want them burpees.
Yep.
And the satisfaction that I got off, they understood that I wasn't doing it to show my dominance. I was doing it because I want them to be better. I wasn't doing it because I want. Yeah.
Are you talking about people like legendary Indian batsman Rahul Dravid and
he was on my team?
Australia
He's exactly who I'm
fast
talking.
bowler Brett Lee?
Stop it, Ross. Ross, don't play. Ross, listen to this. You know Rahul Dravid that you just spoke about?
Yes.
He was my captain. He was my captain in India. And he was one of the players that I had to say at the time when I went India, Rahul Dravid was a frigging god. People were so scared of this man. It's like walking up to LeBron James or Tom Brady and saying, LeBron, give me 10 press-ups.
Right.
It's like people will look at you crazy. I had no problem with it because I wasn't amazed that you was Rahul Dravid. I was more bothered that you was on my team with me. And if I'm going to hell and back to be in the best shape as an athlete, Rahul, you're going to sweat like me. And I had no problem doing it. And athletes like him to come to me and say, that was amazing. We needed that. I got more satisfaction from helping other people than myself. And I remember on the plane, on the way back to England, I thought, yeah, I need more of that. I need to feel that again. I need to feel that more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the most interesting thing for a lot of people who weren't born with natural talent or sports talent, they idolize people like you in the first part of your career. Mm-hmm. They wish that they had natural talent. They wish that they were the best on every team that they'd ever been on. And they say, my life would be so much better if I was born that way. And here you are saying, I was there. I did that. Yeah. And it didn't bring me satisfaction. I love that. Because it's not enough to be the best. It's not enough to have natural talent. The moral of the story seems to be that the real joy in life comes from helping others.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I think I'm 37, Ross, and as I get older, I start understanding myself a bit more. And I think to know yourself, you got to really know yourself to grow yourself. And I think a lot of people, when they're trying to go down a path, they think if that path doesn't work out, they've failed. It doesn't necessarily mean that you could decide to go down a certain path and then you find yourself a little bit more and you realize that the path that you chose isn't for you. It doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you have to find a different path, a path that is more true to you. And I think a lot of young people will sometimes look at it as a failure. Some people will. That's why a lot of young athletes in the UK at the moment have I know it gets a bit dark to say, but have committed suicide. I'm not sure what it's like in the US, but young footballers, soccer players in there. You call it soccer.
Yes.
We call it football.
I like your word better.
But a lot of young players in the UK, Ross, if they get released, if the contract gets finished and they don't get re-signed, they're committing suicide, and it's a very horrible. Because they think that there's no way. They don't think there's another path. They think that being a football player, and if it doesn't work, and they don't get re-signed in another contract, it's game over. And it's so sad. It's very sad.
All right, folks, if you have been listening to this show and you have never, ever hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or your podcast platform of choice, please, please, please tap that subscribe button, follow, and better yet, leave a nice review. Help me grow the show. If you support the stories, if you like any of these people, if you've liked any episode at all, please do me that favor. Subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. Leave a nice review and help me grow this podcast. If there's somebody out there that you think might benefit from Javino's insane energy, share this episode with them, brighten their day, and make me a little happier at the same time. It's all I ask of you. And now, back to the show. There's this moment, and I think a lot of people can identify with this, where you have a taste of something that really moves you. You train other people and you have a taste and you say, wow, something inside me came alive. Something was turned on by doing this. And then you've got this moment where from that you say, I'm going to start a gym, and you're training one little old lady whom you love. And there's this giant gap between the moment that you make a decision on a new path where you have a spark or you have something that pushes you forward, but then you've got this work to do, and it might be months, it might be years, where you're training alone. And so many people, I feel, quit on that part of the journey. They say, I've only got one person. It wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant to be a trainer. Looks like I made a huge mistake, and that's the end of it. But you kept going. What was it that helped you keep going and keep the faith that eventually this was going to turn into something that would be what you wanted it to be in the hard moments?
Well, a few things, Ross. Firstly, I'm the best. And I say that from the purest part of my body. And I mean that I'm the best. There's nobody on this planet that can do what I do. I truly believe that. But think money over happiness is something that a lot of people battle against. Money over happiness. And are you willing to sacrifice that money for your happiness? If you are willing to do that, you need to make sure you love what you do. Because if you chase money, you'll never catch it. So when I worked for Manchester, it's called Manchester Council. And 13 years ago, when I written on a piece of paper, I was paid very well. And I even remember the conversation with my parents and my wife. And I said, you all know what I want to do. I'm going to take the step. And do you ever tell somebody something, Ross, and everybody kind of goes, are you sure? You get paid so much from them. Are you sure?
That's every day of my life.
All of that money for what you want. And I said, listen, whatever they pay me, I'm worth 50 times more. I may not get it in the first year or the second year, but the love that I've got for this, the gift that I've got for this, it ain't never gonna die out. If anything, it's gonna come like a tornado and get bigger and bigger. So you have to stick with me. And even if you don't stick with me or believe in me, my belief in myself will fill up an arena. And people don't want to take the gamble and lose money for their happiness. And the turning point, Ross, was J7 has been alive for 13 years. It's only been open for 4 years. I only opened it 4 years ago officially because my son was born. My son was born in 2015.
Yeah.
And thank you, sir. And I said, I need to make it happen. Now literally the day that he come out, I said to my wife, I'm quitting because I need my son to see that daddy's a go-getter. Daddy's a dream. I'm not a dream chaser. I'm a dream getter.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money. It's not about the finance. It's about waking up every day in an environment that allows me to be me.
Yeah.
And when I can be me, I can flourish and make anybody fall in love with exercise. And to be honest, Ross, it's the best thing that I've ever done. The amount of national awards we've won and the things that we've done, it shows you, man, with real passion, not money. Money will come and go. But a lot of people have got amazing dreams and they've got an amazing desire to do it. And they've got amazing passion. But the passion it can't be online with the money. It can't. If it's a race with passion and money, it can't be close. Your passion needs to be up there in order for your money to grow. And I never question money because I already said to myself, if I'm in an environment to express myself artistically the way I can, passionately the way I can, money will come, and it's the best thing I've ever done, Ross.
I read that when it comes to people, you train a lot of people who have disability or disease or cancer, and that you don't take money for training those kinds of people. That's a part of your core values, right?
Yeah, man, 110%. I'm from poverty, Ross. I was born in Jamaica. I came from nothing. My mum and my dad, they had to work so hard. So when you come from poverty, you understand what it's like to have nothing. So if I'm going to connect with you and be your friend, I don't want a damn thing off you. I just want you to love me. I love you, and I know your story. I want you to know my story, my family. I want to know your story. So now that's the approach I take to my business, and this is why it works so much, because it's a family environment where I say to people all the time, before I train you, I need to know your story. I need to know what your mum's called, your dad. I want to know your cat, what you had for breakfast, the woman at work that you don't like. I want to know what music list. I want to know everything. And what happened was, years ago at the council, I started when I worked for another company. When I worked for the people that I worked for before J7, I started doing cancer rehab classes for cancer patients and disabled people, and I got to the point where I said, I'm not taking no money off you. Like, I don't feel this is horrible. They used to make me take money off these people. It was free. I think it was £3 or £4 per class. And after a year, I said to my boss, I ain't taking no more money off these people. Either find somebody else to do this class. I ain't taking a penny. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm from a place where you help people like that. You don't take money off them when they probably not got the money. And I already said to myself, when I open J7, that is the first thing that I'm going to do. And I'm not going to record it and film it because all the stuff that you might have seen on social media now, Ross, I've got thousands of footage. I've only recently started filming because I never felt like, sometimes I don't know what you get in America, in the US, but in England, there's these people that really infuriate me, Ross, where they will, an example being, they'll see somebody homeless and they've got food or clothes to give. But instead of just giving it, they will go over there with the camera and they'll film it and say, hey, look what I've just did.
Yeah.
I just gave this homeless man some clothes. And I think that dilutes what you're doing. That makes it about you. You've not done it from the goodness of your heart. You've made it about yourself. So I've never filmed, Ross, for probably 10 years. I've never filmed because I thought I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it to show people what Javino's doing, to make people say, well done, Javino. And then
there are a lot of TikTok accounts like that, big accounts that do that.
And then accidentally, a couple of years ago, one of my customers was in, and her mother was in my class, and I was training her, and she posted. I didn't know she was filming, and she put it on Facebook. Ross, it went crazy. So many people were amazed and inspired by it, Ross. And then I thought, oh my God, I might have to start filming because I couldn't believe how many people were so inspired and moved and motivated by it. So I thought, let me start filming. And now it literally went again from 1 to 2 to 3. Now I've got so many disabled people, cancer rehab people, and are just really in a bad place that I train for free. And what I've realized is that the more I film myself on my workouts because I powerlift and do other bits, but these other people I never film, and it took me a while to get to this place where I'm getting people out of wheelchairs, Ross. It's amazing. I've had last year, I think I counted 16 young people in England. They were so inspired by, they decided to try it themselves.
Yep.
And get up out of their wheelchairs. And I thought, oh my God, that's amazing inspiration. And I thought,
the amount of people that you've been able to impact.
Every single week, I've got hundreds.
You've been able to influence so many people.
Ross, I get at least 200 messages.
200 a week.
Yeah.
Incredible. From people who are saying that you've changed their life.
I'll never take money because I think if I take money, I'm doing it for money.
Right.
I want to do it because I want to help.
Why do you think that so many people have a hard time? Or I think there are a lot of people who in theory might want to do something like that. Why do you think it's so hard for people to actually make that decision to put their passion over money, or to actually do something like, I'm going to take on a significant number of people who I don't want to take their money, but I'm still going to train them?
Because it's lonely. I said before, us, it's lonely. There's more bad times than good. There's so many dark days. There's so many horrible days and times where money's low, and you've still got to look at your wife and your kids and go, sorry, nothing's coming in, but why don't you charge? So there's a lot of personal battles and social battles that you'll have to do, but you have to, if you truly believe in what you do, it will always come to the top. And I think I've always said I can make my money doing it. And like if I trained you, for example, I will charge you. I will take your money, Ross.
Yeah,
but if you had a mum or auntie or dad or grandfather, grandmother that was ill, really ill, I wouldn't take your money. I think there's enough money in the world where you can make your money, but then special people that may not be here. Think about that. Every day that passes is a day that they get closer to not being here. So I get paid by the comments that the family send me. Every single day or some comments that the family send me. I'm prolonging your grandmother's life. So God forbid. So 2 years ago, Ross, my auntie passed away. My auntie was she was the matriarch of our family, and it broke my family. She was the absolute queen. Yeah. I'm 37. First time in my life I've had a real family death that broke us. And every single day I say to myself, she's all over my gym in big pictures. And every day, Ross, I say, I'd give anything on this planet right now to spend 10 seconds with her. Everyone who's lost somebody, you've lost people, you would give anything to spend one more minute with that loved one. So the work that I'm doing, I can feel good in my heart that the day that some of these elderly people pass away, I've given their families maybe a couple extra weeks or months of life with that special person. And the comments and the videos and the messages that I get sent along down that kind of road, that's how I get paid.
That's beautiful, man.
Because I know that I'm doing something that's more than exercise, if you know what I mean.
I truly do believe that you have a gift. It's obvious. And I think anybody there is very lucky to have you in their corner. And I just think it's so wonderful that you have found that for yourself and that you have dedicated your life. And that, again, like you said, coming from humble origins, that you have stayed true to that and to where you're from. So few people seem to do that. There's nothing so hard about it, but I wouldn't be talking with you if I didn't see that aspect of your work.
Oh, thank you, man.
That's the part of your story that I really enjoyed. Because anybody could have a successful gym. Anybody could have 100 people. Like, that's not what's important to me. What's important is that you stayed true to yourself. And what's important is that you did it in your way. And like you said, you might have had a boss or somebody else who said, hey, don't do it this way. Or even a family or other people who said, hey, you need to charge money for these people. And you didn't do that because you had conviction. That's what I admire so much about you. So I'm just going to consider me one more person from a place that you don't know. Just, saying good job. Saying
definitely. Thank you,
good on you. And
I really enjoy talking to you.
Keep on rocking, my man.
I really enjoy talking to you, man. Stay in contact, Ross.
Oh, for sure.
Stay in contact. I want to know your journey.
Well, before we do that, I will absolutely stay in contact with you. But I want to give you the last word here. So I want to give you the floor. You can promote whatever you want to promote or tell people to follow whatever you want to follow. Or if you want to give a last piece of advice, I'm going to let you close this thing out.
Okay, the only thing that I really want to say, I don't want to promote nothing. I don't want to promote nothing. All I want to say to people, anyone listening, is you're the most important thing. Yeah, prioritize yourself. This is your life. Every day that goes past, every second that goes by is one step closer to not being here. So make sure every day is a big day. Every day, I say to my son, every day, Ross, every day is a big day. So I say, make sure you're not afraid to put yourself first. Being selfish is okay. Being selfish is okay. Don't chase money. Money's not your God. Chase passion. Chase happiness. If money's your God and all you do is chase money, you'll never catch it. You'll never catch it. I'm not saying money ain't important, but chase happiness over money and make sure you value yourself. Make sure you got self-worth. When you got self-worth and you're overflowing with self-worth, you overflow with self-esteem and confidence, your life will be amazing. Your family will be amazing. Your kids will be amazing. Your business will be amazing. J7. Yes, Rossi.
There it is. And with that, the official podcast is over.